how do you go about helping somebody set goals?
I believe that goal setting is a skill. The thing that people miss about the goal setting process are the activities that are required in order for you to get to the goal.
Right.
So many of us will just set a goal and say, like, you know what, I want to do $100,000 in revenue this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we're 3/4 of the way through the year and we haven't made any money. And we're like, well, I guess I'm not going to make my goal. And it's like, well, because you didn't set a goal.
Right.
You put a number on a board.
Right.
If you want a great book on goal setting and strategy, The 4 Disciplines of Execution is one of my favorites.
Okay.
And so one of the big things that he talks about in that book are leading and lagging indicators.
Mm-hmm.
So a lagging indicator is what most of us understand as a goal.
Mm-hmm.
It's a number. It's the final output. So how much revenue or how many clients we want to have or what's our total profit percentage, right? That's the lagging indicator of the goal. Then the leading indicators are the things that you measure. They're the activities that you measure that support the goal.
Right.
Right. And that's a critically missing piece in when most people go about setting goals.
Welcome back to Raise Your Connection. This is episode 10. Episode 10. You're on episode 10.
Hey, that's
is that a good number for you?
I feel like that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's kind of that first big milestone. That's great.
Exactly.
Congrats.
You know what? See, I like the way you look at it. Perfect. And like from what I understand about 10, because I always have this thing about the numbers for some reason, things come to mind. I like a bunch of like Japanese like warrior stuff and all this stuff. And so 9 being the last episode, 9 is the highest number, like as far as earth goes, but 10 means heaven. I think the word 10 means heaven or something like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well,
so there we go. I don't know how heavenly it's going to be right now.
I don't know. We're about to find out. But I feel pretty good about our chances.
Thank you. So today I have Jonathan with me. So Jonathan, you actually are a business consultant.
I am. That's true.
Yes. And it's Underpin Consulting?
Underpin Consulting, yeah.
And Jonathan Kaylor, sorry.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Kaylor.
So, thank you, sir, for coming on the show.
Of course. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. So, I've thought of maybe one day, if I did good enough, I could maybe be a business consultant.
Okay.
But you're already there, so I got lots of stuff to ask you.
Ask away. I'm an open book.
Cool deal. So I guess what was your first business?
So the first time I ever went into business for myself was actually a podcast and live event business.
So going down a similar path here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I ran with my partners Ben and Jason. We did the Business Over Beer podcast.
Yes, I've heard stories of it. I should note that your reputation preceded you. I knew about you before I actually met you.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
I'm a pretty important person. So that was fall of 2019.
Okay. Yeah.
And so our goal was to be a resource for small business owners, particularly micro enterprise business owners, Main Street business owners, and provide a perspective of what does it really take to own your own business?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what are the ups and downs of following your passion?
Mm-hmm.
And that was really our guiding principle with the podcast, as well as to have a little bit of fun. Obviously, business over beer.
Business over beer.
Talking business over beer, right? It was great. And the goal was always then to bring a live component in to create a live community. And so we were doing just that. We did our first event in October of 2019,
Mm-hmm.
and then we signed our first sponsor in February. We had 2 events in February, including our first paid event. So it was like everything was going exactly the way we wanted it to go. And then the calendar turned from February 2020 to March of 2020. And just like everybody, we had to do some pivoting and figure out where we fit in the world.
Yeah.
So that was a really challenging time. for everybody, but particularly for us because we were a small independent producer who was building a podcast company.
Mm-hmm.
And in March, April, May, June, everybody descended into the podcast space. Everybody had a podcast, or they were doing a YouTube channel, or they were doing Instagram Live. I mean, so just to give you some perspective on the volume of change, when we started in the fall of 2019, there were about 750,000 active podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
By June of 2020, that number had almost doubled to 1.2 million.
I believe it.
And then it was like 2 million by the following April. So it was like, for small independent producers like us, we got squeezed a bit, and it became really challenging to hold your audience. Most of our audience wanted to listen to us during their commute.
Yeah.
And then there weren't commutes anymore.
Yeah,
for a long time.
Yeah, COVID killed it for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So
that was my first foray into business ownership.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, they say, what is it, like something like 70% of businesses fail in the first 2 years or something like that?
Yeah. They think I think the last number I saw was 80%.
80
in the first 5 years.
Oh, first 5 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then, so that happened. How did you pivot?
So we shifted the business model around a little bit because everybody was entering the podcast space. We actually got into the podcast production business because we had already invested in all the gear. Right, we learned how to upload them to the podcast host. We understood how all of that infrastructure worked. We understood how all the admin stuff worked, and so we produced 3 audio podcasts and a video podcast over the next 12 months. So that was one thing we did. We got into video production. So we're doing a little bit of video production. We kind of bounced around and tried to increase our capabilities, make investments in the business where we thought they would pay off longer term. And it wasn't until, I guess it would have been then fall of 2021 is when things kind of started to calm down. Things started to open up a little bit, and we came back to our true north, which was we want to do in person and build a community. And so that's what we did. And we started a membership company supporting small businesses, and we had a great event in September of 2022. We had a large conference. And so we were doing okay, all things considered. But by the end of 2023, I'd been doing this full time for 4 years, and I just kind of ran out of gas, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I made a really tough decision to walk away from the business. I was having a lot of anxiety, and just trying to see how we were going to push it over the finish line to make it a meaningful, viable business.
Yeah.
I just kind of ran out of gas, so I stepped away, which is really hard because after 4 years, my entire identity was wrapped up into that business. You were
tied to it. It was like a part of you. Yeah. You had to let go of a part of you.
Yeah.
That's very difficult.
It is. And it was the relationships with my partners. It was all the relationships that I built. I mean, all the content we created. It was such an impactful period of my life that I'm forever grateful for.
That's awesome that you see it that way, because definitely you created something and you lived in it and you developed something, and you can always take something away from it too, right?
Yeah.
Like look at where you are now, you know what I mean? So now you're helping other people with their businesses, right?
That's right.
So, and it's Quinn Consulting?
Underpin.
Underpin. Why did I say Quinn? Underpin Consulting.
Right. We can fix that in post.
Yeah, I can edit that out. I probably won't, because I want people to see that I'm stupid sometimes. But so why Underpin? That's an interesting name.
Yeah. So what I do is I guide clients through my process of foundation building. And for me, I've identified 3 core areas that most business owners miss when they're building out their business. And that's business model, budget, and goal setting. Those 3 things then set the stage for everything else that you want to do in your business. And you might think, well, that can't be right. I'm sure that people develop a business model, but especially in the service industry where I focus primarily, a service provider comes in with kind of their signature service, right? The core thing that they do, whatever their talent is, or I do this one thing. And so business owners, we get kind of hung up in that. Well, I want to do this one thing, but we don't think about, hey, does the market really want your one thing exactly the way you envision it?
Right.
And what are some other ways that you can potentially make money or use that talent in different ways to try to diversify revenue streams? And the model that I've created, every one of my clients gets 3 revenue streams that we start to work out as a way to build out, again, this kind of cornerstone of the foundation, which is how does my business make money?
Yeah.
And how am I adding value for my customers? And without that, you're subject to all of the market risk, the market volatility. If you've got the one thing and everybody stops doing that one thing, like podcasting, for example.
There you go.
And you've got one thing, then you're out of business.
That's true.
So always want to be in a spot where you can be flexible and nimble and move yourself into other markets or other products.
I've never heard anybody put it that way, to specifically have 3 different streams of revenue based on, I guess, your services that you're providing.
Yep.
Huh. That's interesting.
And so it's just a building block, right? There's no magic number to 3. It's really just a starting point for my clients to think about how else they can operate their business and try to make money.
No, yeah, that's brilliant, because it's like it's forcing them to be creative about what they're doing and to diversify what they're doing.
Exactly.
So it's like maybe even they might come upon something that they didn't know was going to be the main revenue
that's right.
driving aspect of their business, and it's like, oh, wait a minute, this is amazing.
That's right.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Because you start out, with this talent or this thing that you're passionate about, but most of us have no idea if there's an actual market for a product.
That's true.
And you got to go through that process of understanding what the market will bear. I mean, you can do all the market research in the world, but look, I know that business consulting is a viable business because look at how many business consultants there are, right?
Yes.
But how does my unique proposition, how I uniquely bring value to my clients, is there a market for it? And until you kind of get into it and start working with clients, you can't really be sure. But what if it doesn't? What if there's another way that I can do it? Maybe it's through public speaking, or maybe it's through developing online courses, right? There's other ways that I can use the same knowledge and potentially generate revenue from that, and building out then the infrastructure and the systems and processes in order to make those things happen.
I think that's awesome, because Dominic and I, with Razor Media, we've done so many different things. We were all over the place, being in the digital marketing space. And 6-7 years later, we finally have niched down to one thing that we want to do specifically. And if we had met somebody like you a while ago, we probably wouldn't have taken that long. I don't know.
No, but that's it. Like, that's the trade-off, right? I mean, you can DIY it yourself. There's nothing terribly proprietary about the things that I talk about, other than I want you to learn to do it. Whether they hire me to do it, whether they use free resources out there to do these foundational disciplines, they need to be thinking about them, and that's why I exist as a business.
Nice.
Because I think that particularly micro enterprise businesses are woefully underserved, and they just don't have the resources and a lot of times the mindset to think bigger than just I'm just this solo entrepreneur. What credibility do I have to go ask for this price or to get what I value? And so I try to walk that journey with them as a real partner and help them see that maybe you are a brand new business owner, but you've got 20 years of experience doing this. That does not make you brand new.
Absolutely.
Right? And you have that credibility. You should walk in on day one understanding the value that you bring to the marketplace, and really being confident in that. And if you can do that sooner rather than later, it makes a lot of difference in how you end up building your business for the long term.
Yes, it does. when I was looking at your website, I saw this one of your principles, I think, the 4A principle.
Yeah.
You want to share that? I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. So my 4A process is assess, align, activate, and accountability. So assess is, where are you at? You know, all business owners are at different spots in their business owner journey, and so I go through a pretty rigorous discovery and intake process to understand kind of where are they. Maybe they've already got a business model that's really strong, but what they need is somebody to help them go through the goal setting, right? So the intake process helps me assess how strong is the foundation and what do we have to build upon. And do we need to shore up anything in the foundation, or can we actually start putting a plan on their existing foundation? So that's the assess piece. And then the align is where I take my methodology of business model, budget, and goal setting, and I align it to the vision of their business, right? I need to understand what they're trying to do. This is not my business.
Right.
I don't want it to be my business. I don't want to run your business. I want to help you run the business that you envision. And so I just take my methodology and my process and I align it to what they're trying to do and what their vision is. And then we activate. Once I give you that basically I give you a blueprint. We rebuild your foundation, and then you get a blueprint, a 12-month blueprint of then how do you actually execute on this new foundation? What does it mean? What are the tasks and the tactics that you need to actually bring this thing to life? And so that's the activate portion of, I can help you do that. So I can, in some cases, I stay on and act as a project manager and an ongoing advisor to help activate the blueprint, or I'll just leave you with a blueprint with kind of the priority tasks that you need to be working on over the next 12 months. And then the final A is accountability. In my experience, a lot of people fall back into bad habits after they've learned something new, or they try it and then they decide after one or two tries that it doesn't work. And what I'm trying to do is to help people build something for the long term. And so accountability actually comes standard with all of my services, regardless of whether you buy one small session or whether you do the premium package. You get accountability sessions that we schedule out after our engagement ends.
Okay.
That way we can have a check-in, we can do any sort of course correcting or any sort of strategy adjustments that we need. Just kind of that check-in to reinforce that, hey, just because our engagement is over, what can I do to kind of help keep you on track for the long term?
Is it, so the accountability factor, do you, from your experience with your clients, does it feel like they're more excited to see you when it comes to those meetings, or are they kind of like nervous because they probably haven't been doing everything properly, or what's been your experience with that?
You know, it's a little bit of both. There's a lot of hedging in some of those instances where it's like, oh yeah, everything we did was working great, but then I changed it to do something else. Like, okay,
imagine that.
Yeah, imagine that, and that's and that's okay. And again, it's not my business,
right?
And I have a core philosophy that, you know what, you take what you need and leave the rest, right? I believe that in all of our interactions, if we could just do that, just, hey, if nothing you said resonates with me, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Or, maybe little bits and pieces. So take what you can use and leave the rest. And if I go through a 3-month engagement with a client and they've taken, 25% of what we've done and it helps make their business better, then that's great.
That's awesome you said that. I have a Bruce Lee shirt on, and that was one of his philosophies, was when it comes to the martial arts world, was look at all the different styles, take what you need from them, and that's it. You don't have to get all the rest of the fluff. So
yeah,
you got a little Bruce Lee philosophy.
I had no idea.
Yeah, there you go. One of the things that you said that's very interesting to me is helping set goals. So how do you go about helping somebody set goals? Like, that's
setting goals is easy, right? You just pick a number out of the air and say, "That's my goal," right?
In theory, but you got all these different businesses or clients that you have. So wouldn't it need to be kind of tailored to like what they're capable of? Or
it does. It does.
Yeah.
The process that I take people through, I actually have I believe that goal setting is a skill. Actually,
I do too, because I'm kind of horrible at it.
Yeah. And the thing that people miss about the goal setting process are the activities that are required in order for you to get to the goal.
Right.
Right. so many of us will just set a goal and say, like, you know what, I want to do $100,000 in revenue this year. And then, we're 3/4 of the way through the year and we haven't made any money. And we're like, well, I guess I'm not going to make my goal. And it's like, well, because you didn't set a goal. You put a number on a board.
Right.
And so I don't know if you're familiar with the idea of leading and lagging indicators.
I've heard.
Yeah, so if you want a great book on goal setting and strategy, The 4 Disciplines of Execution is one of my favorites.
4 Disciplines of Execution?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so one of the big things that he talks about in that book are leading and lagging indicators. And so a lagging indicator is what most of us understand as a goal. It's a number. It's the final output. So how much revenue or how many clients we want to have or what's our total profit percentage, right? That's the lagging indicator of the goal. Then the leading indicators are the things that you measure. They're the activities that you measure that support the goal. Right. And that's a critically missing piece in when most people go about setting goals. So to give you like a very simple illustration of what that means. So I want to lose weight. So let's say I want to lose 10 pounds. The lagging indicator is that goal. I want to lose 10 pounds, right? Let's say I want to do it in a month. In a month, in 30 days, when I step on that scale, I've either done it or I haven't.
Yeah.
Right? That's it.
Right.
And that's why they call it a lagging indicator, because it lags all of the work that's required in order to get the goal. But the leading indicators then are the activities. So I'm going to measure certain activities. So what might it be for losing weight?
Diet,
calories,
activity,
exercise, sleep, maybe supplements. I mean, it could be any number of things, right? And so you say, all right, I'm going to exercise 3 days this week for 30 minutes. And you step on the scale after week 1 and you've gained weight. What does that tell you? It tells me, well, that wasn't working. I went the wrong way.
Yeah, got to adjust it.
So I got to adjust it. Well, maybe I need to work out 30 minutes for 5 days. Oh, maybe I need to look closer at my diet. And if you're doing this during the period of the goal, then you are actually doing the things that are going to impact that lagging indicator.
Absolutely.
And so I walk my clients through that process. We try to find the most meaningful goal or goals for their business over the next year, and then we work it backwards. All right, now here are the activities you need to be engaged in.
Does analysis paralysis creep in those situations?
It certainly can. What's interesting about the process is always trying to get it up to the top level. So it might be, do we want to track revenue? Or if I'm a new business, maybe I want to track number of clients, or maybe I want to track average order, right? So there's a lot of different things that you can do, and then you start to work out, or what are the activities that go into getting $1,000 per average order. Okay, I've got to have the right offerings, or whatever those activities might be. But then we might find out that that's actually getting average order is a leading indicator. This isn't a good example, but you might find out that the goal that we set actually will work better as a leading indicator towards a bigger goal.
Gotcha.
And so that's kind of when we go through that, we can kind of get a little, it takes a lot of discussion and analysis to figure out what is the actual thing that we're trying to go after, and getting it high enough level where it's impactful.
Nice. I feel like I don't set big enough goals, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
Yeah, I feel like that's my problem when it comes to goal setting. I think I need to think more about it, because I can get lost in the work. Like, oh, I love doing this. Like we were just talking about editing and all that stuff. Not a problem. It's actually going, all right, here's how much revenue I want to have by Q3 of this year. I think Dominica thinks more like that. That's probably why I don't. But I should probably start. As
long as one of you is doing it.
As long as one of us is doing it. Yes. So right now, with your current client base, how long have you been doing it?
So I've been doing this. I just launched this version of this business. Okay. So I've only been at it under the Underpin brand.
Yeah, you rebranded, right?
Yeah, for a month.
Okay.
I had a freelance project management business that I created after I left the podcast and live event business. And yeah, I kind of told you I was unwinding from, my last business that didn't get to where I wanted it to get to. I had actually entered the job market at the same time. So I was sending out resumes and, just trying to figure out what it was I wanted to do. So I started picking up a few projects just to, keep the ship afloat. And I was having a ball. It was great. Yeah. So I started this freelance project management business, and I was really having a hard time figuring out where I fit. Did I want to go after larger companies? Did I want to position myself as a fractional COO type? And then it wasn't until January of this year I was having a meeting with a prospective client, and she was about to launch a new program. And we were just talking about all the things that she needed to be working on. And I left that meeting just energized. Yeah. And she's a life coach. She's been in business about 5 years, but she's kind of shifting her business. And I was like,
I think I know who you're talking about.
You might.
Yeah.
I was like, this is the work I want to do. And when I made that shift, and that of who I wanted to serve, which was really solo entrepreneurs and service-based businesses, that's when I knew it wasn't project management that they needed. They needed foundational support. And so that was I started to create then this process, and ultimately it was just my business wasn't aligned with what the work I was doing. So I've been doing some version of this for the last couple of years. But you niched it down. But I've really niched it down into a spot where I want to be, that I think the market needs me. And so we'll kind of see how all that shakes out.
I love it. I'm excited to see how big you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Before you were into the podcasting space and building a podcast company and all that, were you doing project management then? Is that what your background is, or?
So my background is primarily in frontline team leadership for manufacturing. So I've worked for global manufacturers and leading customer service teams and inside sales teams. So started at a manufacturer. I actually started my career in banking.
I did banking too.
Yeah. So, which interestingly enough, while I was very happy to leave banking and I hope that I never have to go back to banking, I'll tell you, it was working in a branch every day is just such good training for customer service and sales.
Absolutely.
And so much of what I learned in that experience, I still are still core to my sales and service process.
Absolutely the same. I agree. It's one of those, I guess it's depending on what your role is, it's like the service aspect of it, the customer service aspect of it. You just get so many different looks every day. Yeah. Like you just said, it's every day you get so many different looks and you have to adapt and adjust and grow. And it gets you, I'm thankful for it. You know?
I am too.
Totally thankful for it.
Yeah. So after I left banking, I got into manufacturing and worked in manufacturing and distribution for almost 20 years. That's not true. Almost 15 years, 12 years, 13 years. My full career is about 20.
Where does the time go?
Man, when did I start that banking job? 2001. So like 24 years or so. There you go.
Wow.
I'm dating myself. We can fix that in post too.
Yeah, we can take that out.
I'm not really that old.
Don't worry. Yeah. You're 20? What did you say? 20 years old? Yeah.
No, I'm getting older, and I'm actually, I love getting older.
I do too.
It's been fun.
I like it because I feel like I'm not like a super mature person, and I feel myself getting more mature. Yeah. So that's what I like about it.
Yeah,
it's like,
absolutely.
Okay, I feel like I have some wisdom, and I make some decent decisions, and I say things to people that
and they listen to me.
They listen. What in the world? What's happening here? These people think that I know what I'm talking about?
That's right. See, you could be a consultant. You'd do just fine.
I'm sure I could. I just want to, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I'm writing the podcast right now. We'll see where that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you miss podcasting or doing the podcast or some form or?
I like public speaking and I like performing. I mean, I did a lot of theater when I was a much younger person.
Oh, you did theater.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a musician,
Okay.
play a little bit of guitar, not well, but I do play a little bit of guitar. So I like that aspect of it. I don't know that I have a real burning desire to get back in and do it myself.
Mhm.
I love being a guest on podcasts.
Cool.
So if anybody else needs a guest, I'm available.
There you go.
But yeah, so it's bittersweet. It's a lot like anything. When things come to an end, you feel a certain way about it, right? So,
absolutely.
I probably should get back into it because it's kind of like, well, I broke up with her. I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm ready to start dating again.
Yeah, maybe you don't need to.
I'm not sure.
But
we'll see. I'm not opposed to it should the right opportunities come up. But.
Cool. So, all right. So you mentioning that you were in theater and you like music. So you're a creative guy. It sounds like.
I think so.
You're a creative guy, and you like. There's an entertaining aspect to it.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And you like to face the crowd, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like face the person, face the people, whoever it may be. So you put yourself in front of that audience. So it's kind of like, that's what I'm saying anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So you have I guess this is a good segue into what I normally ask my guests is, how do you define connection? Like when you hear the word connection, how do you see it or how do you define it?
Yeah. So another one of my deep-seated core values is I believe every person should get to own their own experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a humanist by nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like doing things in person. I like speaking, to groups, and I always prefer people. You try to set meetings like, well, do you want to do virtual or in person? I always prefer to do in person.
I'm so with you.
So
yes.
But I think that it's important that we let other people own their own experience, because we've kind of created a culture, a society where we're oftentimes looking to blame somebody, or we put ourselves, our own comfort level ahead of somebody else's experience. And so I think that when you let somebody else own their own experience without judgment, you can then start to understand the human condition better.
Mm-hmm.
And you can begin to share experiences versus, you're from a background or are part of something that I disagree with. Therefore, I don't want to understand that.
I know, isn't that crazy?
Or I want to try to act like it's not real or doesn't exist, or I want to somehow say that your experience isn't real.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that regardless, my experience is real, right? And I learned that from my time in customer service. I would tell my customer service agents, like, look, the customer's not always right, but their perception is right. How they're feeling about the circumstance is the reality, whether we caused that or not.
Absolutely.
And so I take that to our social relationships, and it's like, whatever your perception is the reality. How do I allow you to have your perception? It doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't change my values. It doesn't say anything about me other than I just want to understand who you are and where you come from. If we can do that, then we can find some shared common ground, which I believe we have more shared common ground than we think we.
100%.
But we don't want to explore it because I don't really know why, but there's a feeling of threatened or fears or just a lack of understanding. A lot of it's political, a lot of it's religious, right? There's a lot of those different things that come together that make it really challenging.
Absolutely.
But if you can just say, I'm just going to take your experience for what you say it is and try to learn more about it, I promise you'll find common ground.
100%. And it's funny that you brought up the customer service thing, because it's almost like good customer service has the answer to save the world, so to speak, right? Because it's like, what do you do when you're good at it? You listen to what they're angry about, what they're upset about. You listen to it, hear them out, like you said, let them have their experience, and then you make sure they know that you understood what
Yeah.
they're going through. So you kind of build that little bridge to get there. And then once they've established that you've heard them, and they know that because you've repeated it to them, they're willing to listen to what you have to say.
That's right.
That's it. That's it.
It's that emotional connection.
That's all it is.
Yep.
So, okay. That was a great answer to the.
Thank you.
It's so cool to hear everybody's answers because there's no correct answer.
No, of course not.
Yeah, but it's so different for everybody.
Well, and
It's so different.
And I think in a world that's very disconnected, I'd be interested to see what you come up with all these different answers. You know, is there a way to find the common threads among the different answers to kind of come up with, well, what is the definitive definition of connection? Like, what does it really mean in the real world?
Oh man,
and
that's a challenge.
And you'll have this data. You'll have all of these people answering this question. It'll be really interesting to see what all the different answers are.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because that is one of the things Dominica and I talked about is kind of keeping track of that throughout all the episodes, and like one day maybe putting some kind of project together with it. But from right now, from my perspective, I feel like it's one of the common threads is being able to genuinely reach that other person, like take all the walls down, take all the insecurities and whatever your biases are and what you disagree about, but just get rid of all that stuff, and we're both humans. That's what I'm kind of gathering as a common thread with everybody's answer.
Good.
So I think
there's hope.
Yeah, there's hope. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So with I'm going to do you're going to be a guest speaker or a breakout speaker at ThriveCon this year.
Yeah.
Which is my buddy Kimberly Keys's project that she's been doing for the past 3 years now. Yeah. And you used to work with Kim with Passages, right?
Yeah.
You guys founded it together?
So actually Passages was born out of the Business Over Beer podcast. Business Over Beer became Passages.
Okay. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I met Ben, and then I met Kim through Ben, and now I've met you through Kim.
Yeah, there you go. It's a weirdly dysfunctional family.
Yeah. Do you ever talk to Ben?
I do still talk to Ben. Yeah. So I actually talked to him this weekend. So it's
good
to stay caught up with him. And
nice.
Yeah, we've been able to maintain our friendship. I mean, again, that was a tough time for all of us. But what we kind of started, I mean, Kimberly has really taken it on and made it her own. And a lot of the longer term visions that we had for Passages, Kimberly's really made them come to life, which is why while I founded Passages, what she's done with it in the 3 years that she's had it has just been incredible.
Nice.
So I give her all of the credit for what Passages has become.
That's cool. How does that feel seeing it live on?
You know, kind of like a proud papa, to be honest.
That's so cool.
You know, it's just like,
that's so cool.
You know, because the mission hasn't changed. The way she's approached it and the work that she does is very uniquely her own, but the mission is still the same, which is let's support these business owners, the people, right? The humans who are running these businesses.
Yes.
And let's give them the support and the resources they need to thrive. It's not a hard concept. It's just a matter of let's get all these people together in a room in a safe place. And
she's done it, man. It's crazy, but
she absolutely has.
She's done it. The ThriveCon this year is going to be huge.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
So I'm excited that she still lets me come around and be part of it. She didn't banish me.
No, she didn't. You were the keynote speaker last year.
I did do the keynote speaker last year. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would think you're far from being banished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It's a great event. So glad to get to be part of it again.
Cool. So I know you said that you mostly help service-based businesses.
Yep.
So I kind of know what that is, but if anybody out there is like me who's like, what does that mean? When you say service-based, what exactly do you mean?
Yeah. So other consultants, coaches, creatives, so podcast
Mm-hmm.
producers and digital marketing
Yeah.
consultants,
Yeah.
or digital marketing agencies. Great client for me.
Okay. Okay.
Or website designers are great, right? Because they design websites, so they're thinking very sort of,
oh yeah.
And a lot of times maybe they're not great at the client-facing piece or the project management piece. I'm really good at kind of stepping into those situations, and I can provide a lot of help there. Life coaches are great and consultants are great. I kind of want to be the consultant to the coaches and consultants.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want their clients. I want to put them in a position where they can better serve their clients.
Right.
And then wellness practitioners, they've sort of come into my sphere. So, alternative wellness practitioners, nutritionists, acupuncturists, chiropractors, those are great.
Mm-hmm.
Those are great businesses for me to go after as well.
Yeah. Okay. So it's almost like it's people who are it's entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Mostly who they're going to be probably tunnel vision on what they do, and they're not necessarily. I mean, speaking from experience, we've had to learn so much on our own by reading and learning the hard way from mistakes and following the big sales gurus and reading books and all that stuff. So. To learn all the things that we didn't know that we had in store for us. So
and to learn it in a pretty expedited fashion,
yes,
is really beneficial. I mean, we get you moving. I mean, my premium package is 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So in 3 months you're gonna be rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
So it's an exciting time. The process I guide companies through is pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm.
So what I tell people is, look, if you see yourself, if you see your problems, if you see your lack of growth in what I do and the process that I go through and through the 4A process and rebuilding that foundation, if you see yourself in that, I can probably help you.
Nice. I love it. This is cool because I don't think I've ever actually sat down and talked with a business consultant before. Well, so this has been fun.
Well, you should schedule a free consultation on my website.
Well, speaking of, so is that the best way to contact you, is to schedule a consultation on your website?
Yeah, everything's on my website at underpinconsulting.com.
Perfect.
My speaker page is there, so I do workshops, MC, speaking.
Let's talk about that a little bit then.
Yeah.
So you like to put together workshops for the same clientele?
For small business owners. And so I've got a couple of workshops that we've worked on this year. One that's basically teaching the foundations. I partner with a life coach friend of mine, and she does the mindset piece, and then I do more of the tactical.
I do know who that is.
And so we've done a couple of those. We did a public speaking workshop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing a project management workshop coming up in September. So pretty much anything in that realm. I'd love to do those kind of lunch and learns.
Cool. Cool. Once again, you like being in front of the people.
I do. I do.
It's natural.
And I'm an introvert, so imagine that. Isn't
that
strange?
It's just a part of your personality.
Yeah,
we got a little bit of both, right? Introvert.
I do.
Yeah. When you were doing theater, what was what was your favorite? You did plays, right? Or musicals, or what'd you do?
I did mostly plays. I did a couple musicals in high school. I don't think I did any musicals in college. I think I did all plays in college.
What was your favorite role you ever did?
Oh man.
Oh,
I'll tell you.
Putting it out there now.
Man. And my favorite role, I can't even remember the name of the play, which is sad.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a 1-act play with 4 characters and 2 actors. It was me, a man, and a woman, and we played husband and wife, and then we both played these other characters. And it was a constant show of on and off and changing costumes and coming back on stage. It was one of the most challenging and fun things I ever did. It was such a blast because it was really, really hard, but it was so much fun.
That's interesting. So so one of you would probably be keeping the audience busy while the other one went to go change. Is that kind of how it works?
Yep. Or there was off stage action. So like you go to the door and you're like calling for somebody who's behind the door that you can't see, right? Like so there's a lot of off stage action created. It was wild.
That's awesome, man. So you did it all the way up into college.
And even outside of college, yeah. So after college, I moved to. I spent a little time in the D.C. area, and I did some extra work on the movie The Replacements with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, the football movie, right?
Yeah. I almost ended up in a scene with Gene Hackman.
What happened? Why is it almost?
Well, they pulled me aside on the first day, and they're like, "Would you want to be in a flashback scene with Gene Hackman as a football player?" I'm like,
"Yeah,
duh." And so they pulled a whole bunch of us down, and the first night they were like, "Oh, we're not going to get to it tonight," so they let us leave. Like, but come back on Wednesday or something. Okay, so we came back on Wednesday, and we're sitting around the set. And this it was great. Oh, help yourself to whatever you want, man. It was like a whole 7-Eleven that was set up.
I've heard about this.
Like, you can get Coke and Pepsi.
Yeah.
You can get Sprite or 7-Up, right? Like, whatever you wanted, it was there.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And so we were there, like, I don't know how many more cookies and bags of Cheetos I can eat, man. Come on, can we get going? And so they finally, after sitting there for like 6 hours, they're like, "Well, we've decided to cut the scene." Oh man, little story of my life, that close.
And you didn't get to meet him at all?
I didn't get to meet him at all.
Did you meet anybody that was like a star?
No, I did not.
Oh,
no,
bummer.
It was a bummer. Yeah.
So, how did you even get yourself in that situation to be an extra in a movie?
I just answered a call because it was out in Baltimore, was where it was filmed. And so I was living about. At the time, I was living probably like an hour, a little less than an hour and a half away from Baltimore. And I was looking for all the audition notices and all the call boards because I was looking for jobs. And just saw it. And I'm like, well, so I went and made, $5 an hour, whatever it was, to go sit in the stands for a couple of days. It was great.
Nice.
And I think I've watched the entire movie in slow motion. I've never been able to see myself in the crowd, which is kind of a bummer.
I would so do the same thing. I'd be like, I gotta find myself. Where am I? I know I'm there somewhere.
I think that's my jacket. Nope, not my jacket.
It's like not only did they cut that scene out with Gene Hackman, they just cut you out of the whole damn movie.
Where's that black speck in there? I don't know. Let's see, if I had to do it over again, I wore a navy blue jacket. If I were smart, I'm wearing bright freaking yellow the next time. Like,
absolutely.
I'm wearing something that doesn't blend in at all.
Yes.
Where's the hot pink? There it is. Yes. Now I can pick it out.
Oh man. So did you have like a goal to maybe be in the film industry, or?
I really wanted to be an actor.
You did?
I really did. Yeah, and I moved to Chicago after about a year and a half in DC. I moved to Chicago. And I was gonna start taking classes at Second City or or any of the other schools that were there, and I got splashed with reality real fast because I went to Chicago at 20. What would I have been? I would have been like 25, 24. Moved to Chicago. I had like $4,000 in my pocket, and I thought it was all the money in the world.
Of course.
I'm like, oh man, this is man.
Of course.
I'm square.
Yeah.
Yeah. That money was gone in about 6 weeks.
Absolutely.
I gotta go get a job.
I gotta go work. Like, what in the world?
This acting thing, I can't pay for acting classes. I need a job. So I went and got a job, and
so just snorted.
I made him snort. So I went and got a job, and that's when I got a job in banking.
Yeah. And, that's when you got the banking job.
That's when I first started working in banking in Chicago.
Oh.
Yeah, and never look back, as they say.
Yeah.
So,
what was your? I'll say when I was in banking, I started out as a teller, and then I eventually got to what they called like a relationship banker.
Yeah.
That was fun. I loved that.
Yeah.
What were you doing?
So when I first started in banking, I had the greatest job in banking. So this was 2001. I don't know if you remember back in 2001. You may not be old enough to remember 2001.
Dude, I was like 18 or 19.
All right,
something like
so
that.
2000. Oh, so you were
I was
college age.
I saw what everything that happened.
So you definitely remember 2001 then. So fees were the big thing. ATM fees, minimum balance fees, all the fees, right? So like that was a big deal, and like online banking was brand new.
It was.
Like, that was a whole new thing that people were getting into. And so we had a a bank at work program where we would go out to businesses in Chicago and sell them checking accounts. So like I went and I did presentations at new hire orientations. I sat outside of cafeterias at hospitals, and people come in their lunch hour, and I'd sell them checking accounts.
Oh, okay. I know exactly what you're doing.
And our account, it was no fees.
Yeah.
All no ATM transaction fees. You could use non-bank ATMs up to 4 times per month without a fee from us.
That was a big deal back then.
That was a big one too.
Yes,
right?
It was.
And free online banking. So it was like we sold a shitload of checking accounts, man. Like it was the greatest job in banking. But like what I learned was what sold them was, I said, the best part about this isn't the no fees. It isn't the direct deposit. You get me with the program.
There you go.
You don't have to go in the branch. If you have a problem with your account, call me.
Nice.
And like that, you call me anytime approach, that is the one thing that I still do to this day. Like,
especially in banking,
you get me.
Yeah.
And in banking back then, the phone trees were just starting like to come of age. Oh, people hated it. People hated banks. Yeah. And I said, yeah, I understand. I hate banks too, but you
can call me.
You can call me.
Oh yeah,
Here's my direct line of the bank.
That's the deal.
And people would test me on it. Like,
absolutely.
You actually answered. Hey, I need something. Okay, let me go get it taken care of. Call them back. It's done.
No wonder you were there for how long? 20? 15?
So I did that from 2001 to 2005.
Okay.
And then in 2005, my then girlfriend, now wife, we moved back to Cincinnati, where I'm from.
Cincinnati.
Yeah, and that's when I started working in retail banking. So that's when I did the relationship management side.
Gotcha. Okay.
Got my Series 6 and my life insurance license.
Yeah. Oh, you had to do all that?
Doing all the stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Cincinnati. There was a guy here, or there was a restaurant here in Vancouver. It was called Slow Fox Chili. Did you ever go there?
I never did. No.
Man, that guy was from Cincinnati.
Yeah, he had the Cincinatti Chili.
He had the Cincinnati Red. I didn't know about it, like Cincinnati Red, because I'm from Texas. I'm like, Texas Red. What?
Yeah.
There's something else. And it wasn't Cincinnati Red, but there was a version that you put spaghetti noodles in it. What is that all about?
So it's called chili.
Yeah.
But it's not what you think of with chili.
Yeah.
Right? Chili, you think it's thick, it's got big, lots of stuff. And you're from Texas, no beans, but some people have beans in there. But this is more of a meat sauce than it is a chili.
Oh, okay.
And it's actually derived from the Greek. So it's got chocolate and it's got cinnamon in it. And like allspice. So it's kind of Mediterranean rooted. It's a Mediterranean rooted meat sauce.
Yeah.
Is really what it is. And then you serve it over spaghetti with cheese. And it's called a 3-way. Spaghetti, chili, cheese.
That's right, the 3-way.
The 3-way.
So for some reason this is a Cincinnati thing.
They call it Cincinnati Chili. I honestly don't know the full origins of where the Cincinnati Chili came from. But
I'm gonna have to go down a rabbit hole on this one.
So here's what I'll tell you. So Cincinnati, or a Kroger, is a Cincinnati company.
Okay.
And Kroger owns Fred Meyer, which is our local big box grocery store.
Right.
So Kroger just started selling Skyline Chili.
Is that
the best Cincinnati chili? They started selling it up and down the West Coast, and so you can go into Fred Meyer.
I can go get Skyline Chili.
You can get a can of Skyline Chili.
So in Cincinnati, everybody's like Skyline's the best. If you go into the grocery store, that's what you're gonna get.
Well, you go to the restaurants.
Oh, it's a restaurant.
Yeah, a restaurant. Yeah.
So I need to actually try this chili. Is what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. That's right.
Okay. So you hear that, people? Skyline Chili.
So get yourself some spaghetti.
Yeah.
Just a little plate of spaghetti. Pour the cheese on there. If you like onions, put the onions on there.
I like onions.
That makes it a 4-way. and then a pile of cheese.
Yeah.
You'll never go back, man. I'm telling you. It's pasta with meat sauce and a pile of cheese.
It just sounds like pasta.
How can you not love that?
That's all it is. Just pasta.
The word chili messes with people.
Well, yeah, for good reason.
Yeah.
I thought of something when you were talking about that, and I know what I was going to say. Cincinnati. Everybody over here is like Seahawks. Are you a Cincinnati Bengals guy?
I'm a huge Bengals fan. Yeah. Huge.
I actually love Joe Burrow.
I do too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he was just on that show on Netflix on Quarterback. I don't know if you watched.
I haven't seen it, no, but I know of the show.
And I try to be objective. I mean, they're my team. He's my guy.
Mm-hmm.
I just love him. I love the way he goes to work. I love his personality. I love the way he is with the media. I think he's one of the good guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think.
Mm-hmm.
But then somebody said, "Oh yeah, we watched Quarterback. Joe Burrow's obnoxious. Joe Burrow's he's arrogant." I'm like, that's incredible
Perspective.
I don't know how we could watch that same show and you could think that of him.
Probably because they hate Cincinnati.
Maybe, right? I don't know. But
yeah.
But that comes back to them, like, if I was a younger man, I would have gone all mad at, like, you know what? But hey, that's their experience, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't change how I get to have to feel about them.
Absolutely.
Right? I don't have to be mad. That's fine. It's a free world. If that's how maybe he's not your guy.
Yeah. That's that's
the accepting of the
perspective of somebody else,
right?
Yeah.
You know?
And it does. You spoke to it properly when you're saying it's like it must be an age thing, because I agree. In my youth, I'd argue like, what are you talking about? You didn't watch the same thing I watched.
Yeah.
But now it's more like, I wonder why they think that. You actually think about why somebody would think the way they think.
Yeah,
you know?
I would have. I want to give you all the reasons why you're wrong.
Yeah.
Instead of me just asking, why do you think that? What experience have you had watching the show? And that's what I asked them. I said, why do you think that?
Yeah.
And they gave a couple of scene examples where I'm like, okay, if you don't know him to the level that I know him or follow his career the way I follow it, maybe I could see how that could rub you the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you move on.
And
then you say, I love him. I think he's great. I think if you followed him closer, you would realize that he's not that way.
Yep. Absolutely.
And then we can all be friends.
Bada bing, bada boom. I like it. I think that's a good way to end it. We can all be friends.
We can all be friends.
We can all be friends. Well, thank you, Jonathan, for coming on.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me, man.
It was a ball.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks again, everybody. We'll see you next time.